Howdy, howdy, y'all. What's going on? What's going on? So, today is shoulders and a little bit of calisthenics, right? A little bit of abs. So, you may be asking yourself what's going to be on that schedule today if you have not seen my other shoulder plus calisthenics day. It's going to include and traps. We're going to do those too. So we're going to be starting off with traps, all right? And then we're going to go to shoulder press, lateral raise, rear delts, all the good stuff. And then we're going to head directly into, probably, to be honest, we'll probably go into like some dips today maybe. But I'm not really sure because your front delts are going to be getting abused if you do dips and shoulder press. So I don't know exactly. Maybe I'll just stick with push-ups like I've been doing. I'm sorry about this wobbly camera. This Rode, for one, is wobbly. And two, this little, holder thing I use, I don't know if it's just, it's kind of cheap. So, it, sometimes wobbles. I'm really wobbly. This is great. This is smooth. It's awesome. But when you get to a road like that, So, I may just have to get a more expensive one. But this thing broke on the end, so it's a little less stable. But and then abs, gonna be some crunches, just kind of normal stuff, not really doing a whole bunch of crazy stuff, but nothing's really changing today. It's just kind of working hard, and that's about it. I don't need to really say much more about what the workout includes in, because you guys, obviously, if you're a recurring viewer, you know what I'm going to tell you. Have fun, work hard, and know the amount of sets you're going to kind of do beforehand. Because let's say you don't have an idea about what you're doing set-wise. You go in there, you just kind of do stuff. That's all good and fun, but sometimes you'll lose track, right? And then you got to think about, I think I did 3 sets of chest press, and then 2 sets of flies, and I think I did 2 sets of dips. I think I'm on 7 sets. And then you're like, but I feel energized. No. Either switch to another muscle group or just be done for the day. I think 7 sets is really good, right? I think that 5 to 8 set margin is very good for muscle hypertrophy. But, yeah, man, overall, it's just about getting in there and doing the work. That's all what it is at the end of the day. If you work hard, train hard, you're going to gain results. No matter the exercise choices you do, whatever or not. Because I've seen guys with huge chests that do machine presses. And I've also seen guys with huge chest with bench press. Obviously, some exercises work better for other people compared to others. But the general statement is, if you work hard, you're going to grow muscles, right? Same with legs. You can see a lot of people who skip legs compared to the guy who even just half-asses legs. His legs will be a lot bigger than the guy who doesn't do legs at all. But compared to the guy who trained legs hard as frick, compared to the guy who, half-asses it, you're going to see a different change. So, just be smart with your training. And that also means just knowing your head if you're training hard or not. Every set on leg day, I feel like I'm about to throw up afterwards. And I'm not even joking when I say that. Halfway through my workout, every exercise after a certain point feels like I'm about to puke. I don't know why. I can't get really the same results in any other day. I obviously go as hard on legs as I do the other body parts, but I think legs just makes you use more energy or something. It's just because you're going a lot heavier. Like a leg press, I'm using minimum 800 pounds, 700 pounds. Minimum on a fly, I'm using 140. 600 pound difference. So one is gonna make your nervous system work a hell of a lot harder. But with that said, y'all, we are gonna get into it, and I will see you in a minute. Alright, so the first thing we got today is we're going to be working on our traps like I mentioned in the video, and we're going to be using this kind of shrug, lunge machine, or whatever it really is intended for, but we're going to be training to failure, going 3 sets, all heavy, and the last set we're going to go just a little bit lighter, just so we can get a little bit more of a squeeze at the top, but training to failure. Now we're going to be working on our front delts, a little bit of side delts, a little bit of triceps, and a little bit of upper chest with this shoulder press right here. I like to use these grips right here because it keeps our elbows in, and the more in our elbows in are, the better for our shoulder health and our elbow health, and you can use a little bit more weight. So overall, it's just better, I think, in my opinion. But make sure you get a deep stretch at the bottom and exploding the weight to the top, and go to failure for 2 sets. And now we're going to be working on our side delts and a little bit of our front delts and everything else, and a little bit of our traps. But we're going to be leading with the pinky finger, exploding on the way up and controlling it on the way down. Make sure you're training moderately heavy with these. Don't go too heavy where you're just swinging. You're not really getting any side delt and all trap activation. But train to failure. Okay. Now we're going to be training 2 sets for our rear delts and a little bit of our traps. This is kind of a little bit of weird because they're so far away from each other, so the things kind of hit each other. So I would recommend a closer cable or just do it on like a fly machine, but this gym does not offer either of those, so you get what you get and don't throw a fit. But we're going to be training a little bit of the traps and a little bit of the rear delts like I was telling you guys earlier. Make sure you really squeeze on the back end part for a few seconds, and make sure you're feeling more your rear delts than anything. So train to failure, and we're going to be doing 2 sets. But the second set did not record because I said my phone storage was full, so I had to delete a couple projects. Now we're going to be training pull-ups, and obviously you know what that hits. It hits your back, but more specifically your lats and a little bit of your biceps and forearms without the straps. But we're going to be exploding on the way up, and usually I would tell you to train to failure, but today I'm not going to, since, I've already hit back this week, but I don't want to, I'm hitting back in a couple days, so I don't want to, train to failure or anything. But around, 8 to 10 reps is what I'd say. Just 3 reps shy before failure. And now we're going to be training mostly the chest, a little front delt, and a little bit of tricep. And to hit the most chest is make sure you don't go all the way up unless you're just pausing and resting for a second, like I'm doing now. But keep your knees tucked to your belly, and make sure you're training to failure. But like I said, another kind of calisthenics day, like kind of the pull-ups. I don't train to failures. I do about 3 to 4 reps shy of failure. And lastly for today, I'm not training this to failure because I'm recovering from my lower back injuries, and my lower back was a little bit flared up today. So we just kind of just did this for 1 set just to kind of just strengthen everything, get more blood flow in the movement. So, but that's why you're not going to see abs today. But like I said, make sure you explode on the way up, but in a controlled manner. Oops. Ooh. Nah, I'm playing. I'm going on to this week. That's hell. But, what's going on, y'all? We done out of there. Overall, it wasn't the best gym day. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie with you guys, right? I'm gonna be truthfully honest with you about everything I do, and what's going on in my day. But, that session was mid. I'm not gonna lie, compared to my others. I think it's just low carb, kind of, workout, because, not my workout, but my my diet today has been kind of low, which is partially my fault, but I've had a kind of a busy schedule the last couple of days. So just like my overall, workout life cycle stuff has been kind of lower. Not like it usually, but just like these past couple of days or whatever, just haven't been like locked in fully. But because I had a concert yesterday and today was Mother's Day, so I spent time with my mom, and then I ate pizza today because I never really eat a whole lot of food out. That's like horrible for me. Majority of it's just like beef, rice, and stuff like that. Chicken and rice and stuff. But and then I just went to a campground, hung out for like another hour and a half or so, and then just did nothing but drink a Monster. And then I get back and I eat chicken and rice, and then caffeine's already kind of wore it off a little bit, and I only have chicken and rice and then 2 little servings of these lemon cookies, 22 carbs, which that's like 100 carbs, which that's a good amount, but just with having pizza and some breadsticks or whatever, that's like 180, 200 carbs in my day. That's nothing, so that's, like I said, that's my fault. I should just always have meals on me, ready, prepared, be able to eat, but you live and you learn. So that's it for me today, y'all. I'm gonna leave it there, and I hope you guys have a very good day. See ya.